Doesn't anybody know the real meaning behind Christmas?
Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. And lo, there were the Danettes abiding in their man cave, keeping watch over their boss. And the angels did appear before them, and their light shone throughout the room, and it was glorious. And they did quake, but she said, "Fear not, and I shall kiss the low mane from your cheek. And look to the east, and see the three wise asses bring forth a Christmas tree, and it shall only be partially lit. And the multitudes shall send gifts, celebrating your failures, your half-victories, and the partially clothed. And the people shall sing in mass. The box score starts now."
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes out in Milford, Connecticut. We are speeding towards the holiday break. Paulie, will you talk at all with your coworkers over the holiday break?
No.
Of course you wouldn't. Why would you? Seton, how do you manage the little one for Christmas, wanting all these different gifts? I mean, is he a hungry little kid for this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, right now, spy gear is pretty much the biggest thing in the world because he's 95% sure he's already a secret agent. So we're sort of, he makes it real easy because he's usually all in on something. So say like last year it was BMX stuff, this year it's being a secret agent, so no sweat.
Now, is there any confirmation? Is he a secret agent, or you can't tell us?
Likely.
You can't tell us.
I think so. I mean, I'll be like in the kitchen doing the dishes or something, and like a little body will go by me on the wall like this, and then I'll hear like he sort of run the other way. So he's got it down.
Doing dishes?
Well, one man who plays a tremendous secret agent in the movie business is the dreamy Mark Wahlberg, and he joined the show and talked about getting swole.
Could you outbench Gronkowski?
You know what? No, he was at my house. I could bench probably 335 for one, and he took 315 and benched it probably 10 times like it was a loaf of Wonder Bread. You know, even his brother Dan was working out with us when we were doing Pain and Gain, and I was probably at my strongest. I probably put up 350. He was throwing it up like it was air. He's a big boy.
So when they're using this terminology, benching and throwing things up, and a certain amount of poundage associated with these acts, what exactly are they referring to?
I think it's some kind of something with
There's
a bar.
nothing I've ever done.
You don't do
Well,
that.
you're the
All
expert.
right, I love that Wahlberg just said, yeah, you know, I get up about 335. Just like suddenly works it
So
in.
nonchalant.
Well, don't you think, and I'm only half kidding here, is that one of the reasons he enjoys being on the show, and I really think he does, he's been on twice in the past month, is that we ask questions like, how much do you bench? And he's dying to be asked how much he benches. You don't work out like that because you don't want to be asked. And so instead of asking about some movie, which was probably a good movie, we're asking, hey, dude, how much you bench?
How many push-ups can you do right now?
Right.
Well, I mean, it's the famous Boogie Nights. How much you bench?
You
John
first.
Riley.
Right.
Yeah, you first.
John C. Reilly.
Because that's like our favorite movie,
Yeah.
so we're reenacting that. He's comfortable with
And
that.
just the thought of him and Gronk and his brother all hanging out, benching together, spotting each other, just a wild thing that they're all hanging out.
Who would you
with.
rather go out with in their prime? And Gronk, I think, his prime was about 3 years ago. I'm going to go...
Whoa, I don't know. Is
No,
Gronk
no.
out of his prime?
He is out of his prime, technically.
Yeah, I agree.
2011 Gronk, or maybe like 2000 Mark Wahlberg.
See, I
With
feel
his
like
Calvin Klein underwear, they got
Gronk-
No, after that.
Gronk is
after
more
that.
of a party. Wahlberg, there's a much more likely chance of getting arrested and/or in a fight.
Right, but Wahlberg was also the inspiration for Entourage. That's based upon his life as a young actor.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now,
And inflated.
Gronk is not out of his prime. If we tapped that keg over here and 3 women came up from the seats, Gronk could be here in 15 minutes. He would just show up as if from the ether.
Just like
'Cause he
magically
rolls like
attracts
Field of
to,
Dreams.
like,
Yeah, if you tap that keg, Gronk is here. Don't tell me he's out of his
That's how we
prime.
roll.
That's like a Porsche
Like a
Ferrari.
magnet.
Hang out with those guys in their prime.
You're just challenging him right now.
Yep.
Well, Wahlberg probably doesn't need a plug, but he came on to plug the movie The Gambler. Paulie, what's the most you've ever lost on a bet?
Oh, like money-wise or something to do with the show? Money-wise, I lost $600 in one day on college football. I went 0 for 6 after like 4 weeks of just crushing it. So I think I was probably about a still a little ahead, but to go 0 for 6 in college football is like, it was like a, back then I had about $600, so I was hurting.
For me, Brock, you didn't ask me, but once I dropped a dime, guess what? A dime is not a dime. Yeah, I know. Now I know.
I once lost $100 on a bet to a buddy of mine that the guy in this movie was Joe Piscopo, and it turned out to not be Joe Piscopo. And he took my $100.
I know who it was. It was the guy from it's Happy Gilmore, the bad guy in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's totally Joe Piscopo. Like, no, it isn't. I'm like, here's $100.
What's his name?
Oh, Christopher.
Took my money.
Christopher McDonald, great actor.
Yeah.
Hey, McLovin, how often do people tell you that you're against the grain segment won or lost them money?
Never. Has never, ever happened. Brock, if you're going to Vegas based on that, let me give you a piece of advice right now. Save your gas money. It's not worth it, buddy.
All right, okay. Well, how about this? Everyone stick around. We're going partying with the boss. But first, here's this.
Having scrotum.
Oh, no. Are we rolling for the big...
Almost a double turn.
You guys had to react to that if they didn't get it.
Jesus Christ, Dan.
Did I get you a carrot?
Right, the carrot?
No, you got the turnips.
This is an important tip. You know when you want to leave a holiday party early and you can't find an excuse? You got to plan ahead. Tell your youngest child to fake an injury somewhere in the lower spleen area and start screaming during the middle of the party. Maybe drop to the floor in agony. Then, no one will complain when you leave the party early and your kid doesn't need to go to the hospital. All is well. Have a Merry Christmas from the Box Score.
Free gifts from Paulie there. Welcome back to the Box Score. This past weekend, you guys attended Dan's annual Christmas party. McLovin, what was the level of nervousness going into this, knowing that worlds would once again collide?
You know, this year I think I had a false sense of confidence that everything was going to be fine, and and even during the party I thought it was fine, and even after the party I thought it was fine. But now I'm not so sure.
Well, Fritzy's world collided early, and Dan forced Todd to lay down the hammer.
Then we go to Dan's house, and instead of being able to enjoy the experience, what I have ringing in my ear all day is keeping an eye on my son's behavior, because he shared the story about how my son Jordan likes to rocket pool balls in the basement of his house and hitting little kids' fingers who are leaning over the edge. And I was in denial, obviously, about it, because I never really saw him do it, or I blocked it out of my mind. But wouldn't you know it, we're down there, having some chips and drinks and stuff, and there's Jordan rolling balls really hard off the sides of the pool table, and there were a couple of little kids with their fingers out there. So I had to give him a talking to, and it was a little embarrassing.
I apologize, Todd. I apologize that my comments caused you to keep an eye on your kids in a social setting.
Yeah, I guess they needed a little more supervision than I thought or expected. And once it was brought to my attention that that's something that Jordan is involved in, rocketing balls down in the basement on the pool table, injuring little kids' fingers, I felt I could at least pretend to be watching over things while I'm having snacks and drinking a lot of soda.
Well, Fritzy, is there a budding rivalry between DP and your kids?
I don't know about a rivalry. I just know that Dan made it very clear. Don't get your kids all hopped up on sugar before they show up at the house, because then they're going to start running around. And they're usually pretty well behaved. Well, Lindsay more so than my son Jordan. But Jordan, he gets all excited. He sees the pool table. He sees all the little snacks and cookies and cakes and everything, and just starts running around like a lunatic a little bit. But he's very sociable. That's what we like to call it, sociable. Others would call it maybe he should go sit in the corner.
There's a certain amount of competitiveness between Dan and everyone's kid, not just Todd's. Every child at the party has some type of nickname, like Pumpkinhead or something like that, or like the kids who do karate, and Dan reminds them that this is his dojo, not theirs. So any child walking into that party had better have their dukes up.
Bring their A game.
Yeah.
Fritzy, how was Dan with your daughter?
Everything went surprisingly well. We had that incident where Lindsay did the whole, why you abusing or making fun of my dad, be nice to him, and I got my eye on you kind of thing. But it was very, it was very smooth. We went in there, we said hi, thanks for having us, and then they went to go have some snacks and drinks.
Does it bother you that this year your daughter no longer cares that Dan abuses you and just lets it go?
Yeah, I'm trying not to think about that too much. It seems like that there was some more concern in previous years.
That's all I'm thinking about.
And now, Lindsay's like, kind of, you're 45 years old.
You can probably fight your own
desensitized
battles.
to your constant whining?
Yeah, I think she realized, wait a second, I'm 9. If a 45-year-old can't fight his own battles and needs his 9-year-old daughter to fight him for him.
She actually said that.
Wrong.
She actually said that, not to me, to my daughter.
Paraphrase, but pretty much covered
Well,
that
it time. seems like the boss is pitting his kin against Fritzy's in order to pull off maybe a bail mitzvah.
Okay, are we done talking about your son's
Yeah, that was
jumper?
it. That was it. That was the last round.
All you do is bring it up because you know that my son never had a game-winning jumper. That's it.
That would be
Well, I
very
think that's
mean.
why you're so sensitive about it.
Yes,
Exactly.
I said I was.
Your son could beat him one-on-one right now.
Okay.
Jordan's got a big
If
tall
my
kid in
son
his team.
beats your son, I don't have to go to the bar mitzvah.
Def, I'm not making that. No, you're in, whether you like it or not. I'm not. That is off the table.
Don't use me as a prop for the bar mitzvah.
That can't be used as any type of betting item or real punishment or
this is BS.
You're gonna have a great time. We'll pick you up in the chair.
It all comes back to Dan and various insecurities or something like that he's feeling. He doesn't want to hear about anyone else's children's accomplishments, especially athletic, because he doesn't have any of those. And Dan sort of puts that out there and wears it. And I think it's a real source of pain for him that no one is available to carry the torch. You know, great shooters in high school / college basketball history.
And the run is over.
And the fact that he's like dreading like a year and a half in advance, even the thought of showing up at my son's bar mitzvah, which is a once-in-a-lifetime moment when your Jewish child becomes a man or a woman if you're having a bat mitzvah. So that kind of concerns me a little bit that he's been counting down from like 700 days about having no interest in wanting to show up.
Now, Fritzy, will I receive an invite to the bar mitzvah?
Absolutely.
Well,
you better book it.
All right, consider that accepted. McLovin, what did your daughter break at the boss's house?
Oh, it really wasn't a really big deal. It was just I believe it was some form of antique miniature carousel that was gold-plated. I think it was...
It said 1 of 1 on it. What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Something about, they had the presidential seal on it.
Don't touch family heirloom.
I think yeah, it was one of the Adamses or what's that guy's name? Thomas Jefferson. I think it came directly from his estate. I have no idea.
One of the funny things about there's something about the Patrick house. It's very kitschy. There's a lot of like things where you'll see a painting on a wall and you can't tell if it's their 4th grade kid did it with watercolor or Van Gogh did it with watercolor. You know, you're looking, you're like, wow, that looks kind of goofy and fun. And by the frame, you're like, that could be the word.
And you're like, Basquiat. Oh.
Yeah, Basquiat. But then you go in the bathroom, and my favorite was the first time I ever went to his house, I went to the downstairs bathroom. And in there, while you're looking at the urinal, standing forward looking at the wall, there's an autographed picture of President Clinton doing an interview with the Dan Patrick. So when you're urinating, you're looking directly at President Clinton sitting in like a school talking to Dan when he did an interview with our show years and years and years ago. I thought that was purposely funny where they put that one.
By the way, I was an art history minor. If any issues come up,
we can go to
come up
you.
with me. If you're not sure if it's fake.
Run it by you.
Nice.
Well, Seton, is Dan's house sort of a borderline hoarder like the man cave?
Ooh, careful.
No, not at all. Dan's house is awesome, and it's.
That's because
really
Dan has zero influence on his house.
All of Dan's hoarding is done here. Mrs. Patrick has successfully farmed all of the hoarding to this area, and we get to suffer through that.
In all seriousness, when we got this show here at the Man Cave, Dan took about 90% of his sports memorabilia, maybe more than 90%, and took it here. And Sue actually put her hand on my shoulder. She goes, "Your studio is the greatest thing that ever happened to me." And she was dead serious because she got to clean out so much stuff in that house. And their house is not at all, like Seton said, it's not a hoarder. It's more like kitschy and fun and cool art, but not at all cluttered.
It's really great.
This place is.
All right, well, it is time to put aside holiday pleasantries. We're going to battle for the Mock Headline Championship belt after this. Oh, hello, and welcome back to the Box Score. Well, with another year of sports in the books, it's time to look forward to what we'll be talking about next year. So as we like to do every Monday, time to put on your thinking caps and play another edition of
Mock Headline Battle Royale.
Today's category, super unlikely things, but we hope will kind of happen in 2015, but they probably won't. Here it is. I'll give you a headline. You give me a mock headline. First improbable thing. Brett Favre comes out of retirement and signs deal to become quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Let's start in the back row with our art history minor, McLovin.
That was just a lie about being an art history minor, by the way. Favre is a Marv. Why is old Brett stepping on Johnny's toes?
What's a Marv?
You've never heard? Oh, he's a Marv. I think it's
Like a Marvel?
50s
That's an Ivy League thing.
Yeah.
Okay, front row, Paulie.
This is in Johnny Manziel's voice. Bro, what the hell is Brett Favre doing here? Bro. Thanks.
Fritzy, what do you got?
I got Favre fetched, number 4, unleashed in Dog Pound.
And finally, Seton, your mock headline.
Come on down to Cleveland town, everyone. Our economy's based on Brett Favre.
Solid reference.
A video along with that. Our second headline, Derek Jeter falls in love and marries Lena Dunham. Paulie.
This is more of a news report than a headline. Derek Jeter has now dated every single girl in New York City.
Very direct.
Oh, points for truthiness. Fritzy.
Lena a Little Closer, number 2, likes girls creator. Hello, everybody. Lena a Little Closer.
Seton.
El Capitan falls for El Crepe Show Writer.
Oh. El Crepe Show Writer. Wow. Not a fan of girls.
And Nick Levin.
Guys.
Wait, I said girls, 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 not girls.
Motley Crue reference.
I thought maybe we could have done E6.
Little jealous there, Paulie?
Yeah.
E6. Our third headline, Chris Mannix legally adopts 24-year-old Ricky Rubio as his son. Fritzy, start with you.
Crying T-Wolf, Mannix brings home colicky 6'4" baby.
Colicky.
He's just colicky. Lo siento. Seton.
Only because it's Chris Mannix and I have to mention this at least once a show. First of all, Spain is stacked. This is very famous soundbite.
This crowd has no taste. McLovin.
Noted.
Spanish Fly, flashy point guard attracts weird NBA writer.
Weird NBA.
He's a ball boy. And Paulie.
If you can pretend it's marries instead of adopts, Mannix and wife, SI scribe weds underperforming Spanish point guard.
I no pronounce you esposo y esposa. Finally, our last headline. In a fit of rage sparked by a drop guest call, Dan Patrick fires Todd Fritz on air. Front row Seton.
El Baño El Fin.
No.
Es
No
perfecto.
mas.
McLovin.
Throw me a phone line. Fritzy calls out to Dan to apologize, but DP can't hear him because the line is breaking up.
Paulie.
The Fritz hits the fan. Booker bowels out of DP show. Bowels out.
Bowels out. Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
And finally, the recently fired Fritzy.
Fafa phone call. DP goes stern, jaw face, disconnects Booker.
Oh, thought both. Thought.
Fafa phone call.
That kind of stuff that's going to keep you head off.
And the Mark Headline
Fired
Championship
just for that
belt.
one.
All right.
The Mark Headline Championship belt goes to Paulie, based solely on his last submission.
Thank you. 2 days moving the same speed as he did before the surgery.
That's
Stay with us. Yet another battle awaits on the horizon. A battle for glory and a trophy that's glued and taped together. We are closing up shop here on the Box Score. It was announced to the nation in a breaking news press conference that the Danette Football Night in America Challenge would be extended. So let's see how we did on last night's.
The Danette Football Night in America Challenge.
That's right. Let's do the crazy dance. The nation is calling hashtag BSFNC. We asked you guys, would Richard Sherman make an interception? Paulie and I said he would. The rest of you went with the odds and said no. Well, this just in. LOB, Sherman picked off Ryan Lindley. I can't remember which portion of the game it was, but it was exciting. The bonus category was which team would kick for the longest field goal and closest to the hole for yardage. Seton and I went with Arizona's Chandler Catanzaro, who kicked in the 2, while the rest went with Seattle's Steven Hoshka, who missed all 3 attempts. Here are the updated standings. A hat trick kept me in the lead with 14. Seton has 11, Paulie with 10, McLovin 9, and Mr. Irrelevant Fritzy with 6. Fritzy, if the phone line is good, are you just going to phone it in from here on out?
No, I'm going to give it my best shot for as we wrap things up. I'd like to not be in last place, but I think I'm too far behind at this point. But I'm not tanking. I'm not looking for ping pong balls. We're going to give it a full effort straight through the end of the season here.
Broccoli, how many more weeks do we have? Are we going through Super Bowl Sunday?
Let me. It will end on Super Bowl week, is what I'm hearing. The Monday that we're in Phoenix. And how can McLovin and I tie on the? Okay, well, we'll figure this all out, and we'll do it some other day. Yeah, maybe next Friday. Maybe next Monday. All right, Fritzy, who is on tomorrow?
Reggie Miller will be with us. We may hear from Matt Ryan. We may also hear from Case Keenum. A lot of efforting going on, but Reginald Aloysius Miller will join us in the 3rd hour of Tuesday's show.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller. Whoa. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching The Box Score. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern with a very merry holiday special right here on Audience Channel 239. The podcast available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching The Box Score. Holy cow!